Where is the weakest spot of Aoki Toilet? What do the numbers on the box mean? What do the numbers on the bunker doors mean? Why did the whole squad stand and not help Plungerman? Why does Dark Speakerman actually have no crack on the column? You will find out this and much more by watching the video to the very end. Greetings, my dear viewers. The Pyramid on Air. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button to speed up the release of the next analytical video. In today's video, we will thoroughly analyze all the Easter eggs and details that you may have missed. I'm sure none of you noticed the numbers on the bunker doors, but I'll tell you about it at the end of the video. At the moment, we have lost many agents. The morale of the squad has been shaken, and the further they advance into the depths of the laboratory, the tighter the vice of fear around them. Squad leader Plungerman bears great responsibility for each member of his group. They have just lost 5 strong fighters. The Speakerman brothers worked at close range, and the Turquoise twins provided not only long-range support, but also closely watched their commander, helping him in everything. Their deaths greatly shook Plungerman's psyche, and at the moment of their death, his rage was so strong that Plungerman lost control and allowed his emotions to gain power over him. The death of friends deeply touched the strings of his soul, and he instantly rushed with fists at his close comrade. At that moment, it might seem that their friendship would never regain the strength that arose during their acquaintance. But Dark Speakerman is a very experienced warrior. I believe he is much more experienced than Plungerman himself. Having been in such situations more than once, he managed not to succumb to emotions and avoid a fight with his friend. I'm sure Dark Speakerman is so strong that he could easily deal with Plungerman. His cold mind and mathematical calculation would give him an advantage in this battle. But nevertheless, the fight did not happen, and Dark Speakerman took the pain of his friend, enduring his aggression and powerful blows of iron claws on his fists. By the way, do you know why the whole squad stood waiting when an enraged cyborg attacked the cameraman in a black tie? According to one theory, there is a clear military hierarchy among the squad of agents, and they could not start the attack without orders. Moreover, the deputy commander himself was nearby, Dark Speakerman. If they had started to attack simultaneously, chaos might have ensued, and in that chaos they could have harmed themselves. So seeing that Dark Speakerman was ready to jump, they respectfully awaited his actions. Only one agent tried to use the anti-parasitic gun, but as we could see on the cyborgs, this technology had no effect. Among my fans, there is a theory that after powerful blows from Plungerman, the dynamic of Dark Speakerman cracked. But I can confidently say that this is not true. If Dark Speakerman's head were made of fragile materials, he would have died long ago. Despite the fact that Plungerman got new spikes on the knuckles of his fist, the grid of Dark Speakerman's dynamics is capable of withstanding titanic loads. Another argument refuting the theory of a crack is that on other angles, this crack is not visible. This means that we are seeing artifacts of the 3D model. This often happens when we see very small perforation or a small grid. Despite the volcano of emotions raging inside Plungerman, he is still a very strong leader, and so he quickly came to his senses. In the process of delivering blows, he realized all his excessive emotionality and the hopelessness of the situation. According to one very interesting theory, Dark Speakerman has enhanced echolocation. This ability allows him to calculate mathematical formulas and the speed of moving objects at a distance. In simple terms, he sees through walls using his hearing. This theory is very plausible, as Speakermen have no eyes, and therefore their other abilities are much stronger. Bats have similar abilities. I'm sure he navigated well and felt where the Turquoise twins were at that moment, and how quickly Aoki Toilet was approaching. By the way, Aoki Toilet is another proof that SKIBIDI Scientist is the strongest necromancer. He resurrects various showbiz stars from the dead and turns corpses into terrifying war machines. I think workshops that use necromancy technologies are quite common in this bunker. This means we may meet not only one popular star of humanity, but let's get back to Aoki Toilet and its device a little later. So watch the video to the end. And now, let's try to figure out what these numbers mean on the boxes in the corridor. So, before we start analyzing the numbers and codes on the boxes in the corridor, let's scan the space to get a room map. And so, let's look at the map. We see that some doors have numbers. For example, on this one, if we look closely, it says A548. But we see this number not only on one door. Therefore, we can determine the types of rooms by the types of doors. According to my theory, these are transport nodes where various materials are delivered. Most likely, these boxes contain various parts and components. Perhaps some small microelectronics, because some boxes indicate that it is fragile cargo. Perhaps these supplies were made even in the days when people were alive. And that was a very long time ago, and now you will understand why. Pay attention that in the rooms, we can find skeletons of various base staff. One of the skeletons is dressed in a white scientist's coat. According to one theory, there was an experimental laboratory here. Scientists lost control of the development, and the SKIBIDI virus spread at a stunning speed. The SKIBIDI epidemic spread around the globe. Well, as I mentioned earlier in my recent videos, there may still be a group of living people who are here captive since the early episodes of the series. And there is also a chance that there are still living agents somewhere. And perhaps our team of heroes will meet someone from them. In that case, the squad will increase in number, and the chances of victory will increase. Pay attention to the numbers written on these boxes. According to my theory, these numbers are specifically related to cargo transportation, nothing else. But there is another theory that these numbers indicate a date, August 15th, 1986. Perhaps this is an Easter egg from Boom himself. After all, we know how much he loves small details and occasionally leaves us secret messages. But if we return to the theory that these numbers only relate to cargo transportation, then perhaps this is a very, very old cargo from 1986. And the laboratory was abandoned in the late 80s. What do you think about this? Be sure to write your theories in the comments. Let's go back to Iwoki Toilet, as it is one of the most significant events in the series in recent days. Pay attention to its structure. We see two powerful circular saws, similar to those used by Titan Cameraman when his hand was torn off. Then we see the familiar metal claws and pincers, as well as two terrifying knives resembling rusty saws. Such weapons are usually used to inflict the most frightening wounds and also help instill fear. So I think the main function of this giant SKIBIDI toilet is to exert psychological pressure on the enemy. These are the same knives we can see on the vacuum SKIBIDI toilet in the 46th episode. Iwoki's agility and strength are shocking. He easily gains tremendous speed to break through thick and super strong bunker doors. But is he really so strong and invincible? Maybe he has some weak points? Take a close look at what is at the bottom. It looks like an old battery. If you didn't know, a battery is a car battery, which means that if you damage this battery, you can deal significant damage to Iwoki Toilet. Iwoki Toilet's power is undeniable, but even he could not penetrate the area of the mysterious corridor. Could there be something horrible there? In any case, despite everything, our team moved forward. They boldly go towards their destiny. Each of them has been through a lot. After losing their friends, their motivation has changed completely. What awaits them ahead? Perhaps the swamp glow is coming from an underground acid production plant. Or is there a source of yellow energy used by G-Man in his core? In any case, the trial will be very difficult, and most likely not everyone will make it to the end. I assume that Boom may release the 70th episode this year, but there is also a small chance that he will postpone it to the next year. I think it will depend on various circumstances, but I managed to find out something through my secret channels. Boom promised that after the 70th episode, crazy events will unfold in the series. So we need to prepare fire extinguishers because it will be extremely hot. What do you think? When will the 70th episode be released? Be sure to write your theory in the comments. May the force of the pyramid be with you. Good luck.